just about to start my workout for today. There are timestamps in the description box down below the video, so if you would prefer to just skip straight ahead to the workout, you can go ahead and use the chapter markers to do that. Just make sure that you're taking a few minutes to warm up before you jump into the workout. If you would like to warm up with me, I'm including a quick 5-minute warm up just before the workout. So use the chapter markers to navigate to whatever part of the video is relevant to you. If you would like to see the exercises demonstrated and explained before we begin, let's go ahead and get into that right now. This will be a very quick tutorial, I promise, because there's really only 2 exercises, 2 or 3 depending on how you look at it. The first exercise I'm going to be doing is just an elbow plank. So what you're going to need for this workout is, first of all, something soft beneath you. So I'm using my jump rope mat, but any kind of exercise mat or yoga mat is fine. If you don't have a mat, a towel may suffice. If you're working out on a carpeted floor or on grass, you may not need anything at all. You also could do a high plank. If you don't have anything soft underneath you, you'll be a little bit more comfortable in a high plank, but I'm going to be doing an elbow plank. So I'm going to have my forearms on my exercise mat just to make it a little bit more comfortable. So definitely grab an exercise mat or yoga mat if you have one. Other than that, the only thing that you're going to need is some sort of weight if you are doing part 2 of the workout. So this workout is going to be split up into 2 or 3 parts depending on how you look at it. Part 1 is going to be 15 minutes. So I'm going to be including this workout on my playlist of 15-minute workouts. If you selected this workout from that playlist because you specifically want to do a 15-minute workout today, you're just going to do part 1 and that's it. And for part 1, you will not need any sort of weight. No sandbag, no dumbbells, no kettlebell, nothing. What you may need is a jump rope. I'm going to be using my jump rope for part 1. So if you have a jump rope, go ahead and get that ready. We are using it today, but if you don't have a jump rope, then that's fine. You can still do this workout right along with me, even with no exercise equipment whatsoever. While I'm jumping rope, you can just be substituting with any other type of cardio, all right? So really, you may be able to do this workout without anything at all, without a mat, without a jump rope, without any weight, but I'm going to be using a mat, my jump rope, and my sandbag. For reference only, my sandbag is filled with about 25 pounds of sand, and that's a good weight for me. That's going to challenge me today, but you may need to use something lighter or heavier. That depends on your strength and on your level of fitness. It also depends on what you have available to you and how hard you are looking to push yourself today. So please consider all of those factors when choosing your weight or weights and make the decision that is best for you. If you don't have anything that's going to work for weight, or you just don't feel comfortable adding weight to your workout, that's fine. There are plenty of options that don't require any added weight or any equipment whatsoever. So we'll get to that in just a minute. First, let's start with our plank exercise. So again, you can do a high plank if you want. I'm going to be doing an elbow plank. So again, I'm using my mat just so that it's more comfortable. I'm going to place my palms and my forearms on the mat like this. And then from here, I'm just going to step my feet back so that I'm in a plank position. And that's it. We're just holding plank for 90-second intervals. So it's going to be super challenging. Do your best. And remember these 3 bullet points. Number 1, you want to keep your head in line with your spine. Number 2, shoulders away from the ears. And number 3, you want to make sure your back stays flat. So number 1, head in line with the spine. If you imagine standing with your back up against a wall, and then just imagine what it would feel like to gently press your head into the wall, that's where you want your head, perfectly in line with your spine, and you want to make sure that it stays there. Okay, so especially as you fatigue, you might find that it starts to get a little challenging to keep your head in line with your spine, and you might find that your head starts to drop down towards the mat like this. Do your best to keep your head in line with your spine. You do not need to overcorrect by hyperextending your neck and kind of jutting your chin out. You just want your head perfectly up and down in line with your spine like that, and then you want it to stay there. The second thing, shoulders away from the ears. So you want to make sure that you're not allowing your shoulders to be hunched up by your ears. And again, as you fatigue, you might find that you kind of start to kind of sink down into your shoulders like this, and your shoulders are gonna end up hunched up by your ears. So to fix that, you wanna really press into the mat. Press into the mat with your palms and your forearms and your elbows so that you're pressing yourself up as high as you can get in that plank position, and your shoulders are away from your ears. And then flat back, that's our third bullet point. So what you're trying to avoid is an arch in your back. And again, this gets more and more challenging as you fatigue. So make sure that you are not allowing your hips or your belly to start drooping down towards the mat like this. That's causing an arch in my back, and we want a flat back. So the solution here is to really tighten up your abs. Imagine someone's about to come along and punch you in the stomach, and you're bracing for that impact. So you want to really, really tighten your abs and use your ab muscles to lift your hips up high and keep them high. All right, so you want a flat back. If your hips are slightly elevated like this, that's not terrible. In this position, my back is still flat, so you're not going to hurt yourself if your hips are slightly elevated, but it's not ideal. What you're going for is that one perfectly straight line from your heels all the way to the crown of your head. So you want to be visualizing that your body is literally a plank of wood. Straight line, that's what you want to achieve, and that's what you want to maintain, okay? So just remember those 3 bullet points. Number 1, keep your head in line with your spine. Number 2, keep your shoulders away from your ears. And number 3, keep your back flat. All right, and if you want to do a high plank, it's the same thing. The only difference is that instead of having your forearms on the mat, you're going to have just your palms on the mat. So start by spreading out all 10 fingers as wide as you can. Place your hands on the mat directly underneath your shoulders, and then step your feet back and follow all of the same bullet points, okay? So head in line with the spine. Don't allow your head to droop down towards the mat like this. Don't overcorrect by hyperextending your neck. Head in line with the spine. Don't sink into your shoulders. Press the ground away from you. Push yourself up as high as you can so that your shoulders are away from your ears. Tighten up those ab muscles and make sure your hips are lifted high. Keep them lifted nice and high. Don't allow your hips or your belly to droop down towards the mat like this, causing your back to arch. Lift your hips high and keep them high. So again, your goal is to have your body in one straight line from your heels all the way to your shoulders and really all the way to the crown of your head. All right, so elbow plank or high plank, either is fine. I actually find elbow plank a lot more challenging to hold for 90 seconds than a high plank, but we're all different, so you pick whatever one works for you. If you want to pick one that feels easier for you, because we're doing this for such a long interval and we're doing it so many times, that's up to you. Again, it depends on how hard you're looking to push yourself today. If you want to really challenge yourself, you can choose whichever one feels more difficult to you, okay? And you don't have to stick with the same version of plank. You can do a different plank version for each interval. You can do a bear plank. It doesn't matter, okay? It's your workout, so you do it in whatever way works for you. But I'm going to be doing elbow plank. And then the only other thing I'm doing for part 1 is just jump rope. So again, 90-second intervals with my jump rope. So if you do not have a jump rope, you can be doing any other type of cardio exercise for those 90-second intervals where I'm jumping rope. So you can just jog in place or do jumping jacks or high knees or something like that. If you have an exercise bike or a treadmill or an elliptical or something like that, you can hop on one of those for those 90-second intervals and then hop off and do your elbow plank, high plank, back and forth like that. You can do up and down the steps for 90 seconds. Okay, so 90 seconds of plank and 90 seconds of some type of moderate paced cardio back and forth for 15 minutes. That's part 1. Okay, so if you're jumping rope with me, any style of jump rope you want to do is fine. I always kind of jog in place like this while I'm jumping rope. But if you are more comfortable jumping with your feet together, fine, jump with your feet together. If you're really good at jump rope and you want to challenge yourself, then you can do jump rope jacks or high knees or twist jumps, okay? It doesn't matter. Any type of moderate paced cardio you want to do. So if you're jumping rope, it could be any style of jump rope. That is absolutely fine. You can also just, like I said, yeah, jog in place or do high knees or jumping jacks, or you can pantomime jumping rope. That's another option. They actually sell ropeless jump ropes. It's really just 2 handles that you hold on to with no rope in between. So you just kind of pantomime jumping rope. So you're jumping over an imaginary rope. Now, if you want to invest in one of those, I think that's a great idea. If you're going to be following my workouts regularly, you'll get a ton of use out of something like that because I incorporate a lot of jump rope into my workouts. However, if you want to save your money, I don't think that something like that is strictly necessary. If you find it helpful to hold on to handles, then absolutely, it's a great investment. But if you're already jumping over an imaginary rope, I really think you can probably do that while holding on to imaginary handles. So my personal recommendation would be to probably just save your money. You can always just hold on to imaginary handles while you jump over your imaginary rope, just pantomime jumping rope, and that works. Okay, but that's part one. I'm going to set my interval timer, or I broke my interval timer and I haven't replaced it yet, so I downloaded an app on my phone, so I'm going to be setting my phone app interval timer for 90-second intervals, and we're just going to go back and forth between elbow plank and jump rope for 15 minutes. That's part one. That's also part three. I'm going to sneak in a part two in between, but for part three, I'm just going to repeat part one. So you can mix and match these sections any way you want, all right? But part two is just going to be 100 sandbag cleans. So I have my sandbag here, and I'm just going to clean the sandbag. It's like basically the same thing as cleaning a barbell. All right, so the first thing I want to do is tuck my shoulder blades into my back pockets. I want my shoulders back and down. I want my chest lifted high. And the next thing I want to do is really tighten up my abs, just like we did in our elbow plank. So you're going to imagine that someone's about to punch you in the stomach as hard as they can. You're really bracing for that impact. That's how tight your abs should be. You want your entire core engaged. And then the next thing I'm going to do is hinge at the hips. So you want to make sure that you are not allowing your knees to track over your toes. Instead, what you're going to do is hinge at the hips, push your booty back as though you're trying to touch the wall behind you with your booty. As soon as you do that, watch my knees. Now, right now they're over my toes, but when I push my booty back and hinge at the hips, now my knees are no longer over my toes. All of my weight is in my heels. I can actually pick up my toes, and that's what we want. Now remember, at the same time, our shoulders are back and down, chest is lifted high. You want to maintain that sensation of your chest being lifted high so that as you're pushing your booty back, trying to touch the wall behind you with your booty, at the same time you're thinking about trying to touch the wall in front of you with your chest. The point is that you want your spine to be elongated, you want your back flat. So when we were down in our plank pose, we were trying to avoid an arched back. Here, what we're trying to avoid is the opposite of that. You're trying to avoid a rounded back, all right? So tuck the shoulder blades into the back pockets, lift the chest, push the booty back, and now you can see how my spine is nice and elongated and my back is flat. All right, so just remember your bullet points for this exercise: flat back, weight in the heels. All right, so from here, we're going to clean the sandbag. So all that means is that I'm going to grab a hold of the handles of my sandbag, and then I'm going to press my heels into the ground, and I'm going to hinge at the hips to stand and return to my starting position. As I do that, I'm bringing the sandbag with me, and I'm going to flip the sandbag up and over so that it lands in my elbows. Okay, so putting that all together, it's going to look like this. Grab a hold of the handles of the sandbag, and now pressing my heels into the ground, activating all of the muscles in my feet, through my legs, my quads, and my glutes. Of course, my entire core is strong and tight and engaged. I'm going to hinge at the hips to stand, flip the sandbag up and over so that I end up holding it in my elbows like this. Okay? And then I'm just going to reverse the movement. So I'm going to flip the sandbag up and over and back down. Okay? That's a sandbag clean. So let's put a couple of reps together. Shoulders are back and down. Chest is lifted high, abs are tight. Pushing the booty back, keeping that chest lifted so the spine is elongated, back is flat, weight is in the heels. I'm going to reach down and grab the handles of my sandbag, pressing my heels into the ground, hinging at the hips to stand, and flipping the sandbag up and over. And now reversing the movement, flipping the sandbag back up and over the opposite way and hinging at the hips to put it back down. All right, that is a sandbag clean, and that is what I'm going to be doing for part 2. I'm just going to do that 100 times. That's my part 2. Now, if you have a home gym, or if you're looking to build a home gym, I strongly recommend thinking about investing in a sandbag. There are tons of different sandbags out there. I like the one I have, but it's not the cheapest. It's very well made, it's good quality, I've had it for years. So, you know, shop around a little bit, but you don't have to spend that much on a sandbag, and I think it's a very good investment. It is a very versatile piece of equipment, and I do tend to use it a lot in my workouts. So again, if you're going to be following along with my workouts on a regular basis, you'll get a ton of use out of a sandbag if you want to invest in one. The other thing you can do if you want to invest in a sandbag, but you're really looking to do it on a budget, don't forget about sites like Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace, eBay, OfferUp, those kinds of sites, because a lot of times you get people that will invest in fitness equipment because they want to start working out at home, they want to get in shape, and then they find that they don't follow through and actually use the equipment. And so then they want to get some of their investment back for it. So it's very, very common that you will find fitness equipment, and usually fitness equipment that's in pretty good condition, on something like OfferUp or Facebook Marketplace. So definitely make sure that you check those sites, and maybe you can get a good quality sandbag for very little money. So that's another thought. Now, it also may be possible to DIY your own sandbag. So if you have something like a backpack or a duffel bag, you could absolutely fill that with some sort of weight. So maybe you could fill it with bags of rice or beans or something like that. Find like household items that you can use to give it a little bit of weight, but a backpack or a duffel bag could probably work. And of course, if you have access to something like a barbell, either as part of your home gym, or if you want to take this workout to your gym that you're a member of, you could clean a barbell, okay? That would be another option. But if none of that's going to work for you, you can do deadlifts instead. It's not going to be exactly the same thing, but it would be a good substitute if you don't have a sandbag or something similar that you can clean. So for example, if you have a set of dumbbells or a kettlebell or even a medicine ball, or household items, so you could grab a couple of water bottles or shampoo bottles filled with water, uncooked rice, dried beans, kitty litter, powdered laundry detergent, something like that. Or you could grab something heavier, like a jug of laundry detergent, and you could hold on to that, similar to the way you would hold on to a kettlebell. All right, so any type of weight, whether it's actual like fitness equipment or household items, you could really get creative and just use any type of weight for your deadlifts. But you could, I like these staggered stance deadlifts. You could have your feet together, but very similar, tucking the shoulder blades into the back pockets, chest is lifted high, abs are tight, pushing the booty back, hinging at the hips. Make sure there's a soft bend to your knees. Make sure you're not locking out your knees. All right, so slight bend to the knees and then hinge at the hips. Let the weights fall in front of you. And then again, you're pressing your heels into the ground, hinging at the hips to stand. There's lots of variations of deadlifts. So I think that any type of deadlift variation would be a great substitution here. You can also do deadlifts without any added weight. So if you don't have any equipment whatsoever and you don't want to add weight to your workout, you could do, maybe you could do them on one leg to make them a little more challenging. You can alternate legs with each rep, or you can do half of your reps on one leg, half on the other. But I like one-legged deadlifts. I do these pretty often. Essentially the same thing, but you're not holding on to any weight, okay? So shoulders are back and down, chest is lifted high, abs are tight, pushing the booty back, hinging at the hips, keeping your weight in your heel, keeping your back flat, keeping a soft bend to your knee, and then reversing the movement, pressing the heel into the ground, hinging at the hips to stand, okay? So that's going to be my suggestion, some kind of deadlift. is going to be my suggestion, either with or without weight. If you don't have a sandbag or anything else that you can clean, and you can do the deadlifts with or without weight. You can do them on one leg, two legs, lots of ways to vary your deadlifts. So that's going to be my equipment-free substitution for part 2. So hopefully one of those options works for you. As always, if you need any further help with equipment-free substitutions or beginner modifications beyond what I'm showing you, please just ask. I'm always here to help with that. But that's what I'm doing today. I'm going to start with part 1, which is 15 minutes of interval training. We're on 90-second intervals, no rest intervals. So elbow plank for 90 seconds, jump rope for 90 seconds, back and forth until our 15 minutes is up. That's part 1. Then I'm moving directly onto part 2, which is my 100 reps of sandbag cleans. So you can be doing 100 deadlifts, or really 100 reps or 50 reps or however many reps you want to do of any kind of strength training exercise you want to do. What do you want to work on today? All right, but basically part 2 is strength training. And then I'm doing part 1 over again. I'm repeating part 1, so that's my part 3. So again, you can kind of mix and match these. You can start with your sandbag cleans or your deadlifts and then finish with the jump rope and elbow plank, and that's it. That can be your workout, or you can do just parts 1 and 2 with me. All right, you can do part 1 twice through. If you want to do a 30-minute workout, you can just do part 1 twice in a row. That's 30 minutes. That would be a very challenging 30-minute workout, but it would be a great 30-minute workout. So I will include this video on my playlist of 30-minute workouts as well, because you can always do that. All right, so it's very easy to customize the workout. Just mix and match, take what works for you, leave what doesn't, modify where you need to, get creative, use what you've got available to you for equipment. But that's it, that's the workout. So hopefully that is all clear. Please remember that I always take the time to type out the instructions in the description box down below the video, and I'm going to do the entire workout right along with you. So watch me do it, read the instructions, but then of course, as always, if anything is unclear with the format, if you have questions about how everything fits together or how you can customize it, if you're unsure really of what I mean by how to mix and match the sections, or maybe you need help making adjustments to the work intervals to accommodate your current level of fitness or your time constraints, okay? If you have questions about any of the exercises that we are doing today, if you have any doubts about how to do the exercises with the correct form, or again, if you need any further help with equipment-free substitutions or beginner modifications, I'm right here to help, so please just ask. It's really important that you understand how to do the exercises correctly before you begin the workout, so that you reduce your risk of injury, and also just so that you make sure you're getting the maximum benefit out of each exercise. And you guys know it is also incredibly important to me that all of my workouts are always accessible to anyone and everyone who wants to do them with me. I'm always here to help facilitate that. So just please don't hesitate to reach out if you have questions or if you need help. And finally, before we begin, I just want to remind you, especially if you are going to be working out along with the video, to please go at your own pace and mind your form. So make sure you're working to your own level. Do not push your body into doing anything it is not ready to do. I need you to be smart. I need you to be safe. I need you to listen to your body. So you should always be working at your own level and at your own pace. If you're in really excellent shape, it is very likely that you are going to be a lot faster than I am. You're going to be able to move from one exercise to the next a lot more quickly than I am able to. You're going to be able to complete a lot more revolutions of your jump rope during the work interval than I can. You're going to complete your sandbag cleans way faster than me. That's great, okay? If you're faster than I am, fantastic. Be faster than I am. Just make sure that you are not losing anything off of your form. So if you're slower than I am, that's fantastic. In that case, though, you want to make sure that you're not racing to try to keep up with me. If you're slower than I am, just be slower than I am. That's absolutely fine. If you need to pause and rest, okay? If you need to take rest breaks in between parts 1 and 2 or between parts 2 and 3, and I'm moving on and you're not ready to move on, pause the video, towel off, get something to drink, let your heart rate come down a little bit, allow your breathing to normalize for a couple of minutes, and when you're ready, come back. You should challenge yourself to keep your rest breaks as short as you can, but they should be as long as you need. Okay, so again, you need to listen to your body. So you should only resume the workout when you feel that you have enough stamina and you have regained enough strength that you are able to continue with good form. Okay, so just remember never to sacrifice your form for speed. Whether you're faster than I am or slower than I am, don't sacrifice your form for speed. But I think that's it. Hopefully I have covered everything. So if you are ready to begin this workout, if you're just doing part one, grab an exercise mat or a yoga mat if you have one. If not, a towel may suffice, but you will be more comfortable with something soft beneath you, especially if you are doing an elbow plank like I am. Grab your jump rope if you have one. If you don't have a jump rope, that's fine. Remember, you can substitute with any other type of moderate paced cardio you want while I'm jumping rope. If you are doing part two with me and you would like to add weight, go ahead and grab your sandbag or a couple of dumbbells or a kettlebell or household items, whatever you want to use for weight. And again, if you do not want to add weight to part two, you don't have to. You have your equipment-free substitutions. But go ahead and gather whatever equipment you need, pause the video, get dressed, and then when you're ready to begin, meet me right back here. We're going to start with a quick 5-minute warm-up and then we'll get our reps done together. All right, so as soon as you're ready, let's get started with our 5-minute warm-up. You're going to begin by just allowing your head to fall towards one shoulder. Place your hand on top of your head and just rest it there. You're not actively pulling your ear down towards your shoulder. You're just making sure that your arm is entirely relaxed, letting gravity do all the work. It's just the weight of your arm that's gently stretching the opposite side of your neck. We're going to switch sides, so let go. Allow your head to fall towards the opposite shoulder. Place your hand on top of your head and just rest it there. Make sure your arms are completely relaxed, shoulders are relaxed. Make sure they're not hunched up like this. Remember, shoulders away from the ears. Next, we're going to do some neck rolls. So you're going to start by allowing your chin to fall towards your chest and then towards the other shoulder and then back. So just rolling the head back and forth. And each time you roll your head, just start to feel your head getting heavier and heavier. You're going to expand your range of motion by just allowing your entire torso to kind of fall down in front of you. Now we're going to do some shoulder rolls. So just rolling the shoulders back, really exaggerate that movement. Make the circles as big as you possibly can. Next, we're going to do arm circles, but we're going to start small with our arm circles. So you're going to start by extending your arms out to the side and just make small circles to begin with. But gradually, as the interval progresses, I'm going to start making my circles a bit bigger, until finally I'm making my circles as big as I can and exploring my full range of motion. Next, you're going to step your feet out so that they're a little bit wider than hip width apart. Bend the knees, kind of sweep your hands down in front of you. And then as you straighten your legs, you're reaching up as high as you can, like you're trying to touch the ceiling. And each time you bend your knees, you're starting to just increase your range of motion a little bit each time, sinking deeper and deeper into that squat. Now keep your feet planted right where they are. We're just gonna lunge side to side, nice and easy, adding the arms. So with each lunge, you're reaching your arm across your body. It's like you're trying to throw your arm across the room. Next, we're going to step our feet into the center and march. Starting with your knees low, but gradually, as the interval progresses, you're going to start driving your knees up higher and higher towards your chest until finally you're driving your knees up as high as you can towards your chest, feeling a little stretch in your glutes. And now we're going to do the same thing with a jog. So just a nice light jog. Knees are low to start. And then little by little, you can start driving your knees up towards your chest, higher and higher, until you're finally driving your knees up as high as you can towards your chest. Next is booty kicks. So it's still a nice light jog, but with each step, you're bringing your foot up behind you and really try to kick yourself in the booty with your heel. For this next one, you may need to hold onto a chair or the wall or something like that for support. If not, you can just have your hands on your hips. You're going to transfer your weight into one leg, pick up the other foot, and just swing the leg. Swing it in front, Swing it behind you nice and loose. We're gonna switch and do this on the other side. So putting this foot down, transferring the weight, pick up the other foot, and just swing the leg, front and back. You can start low, and then as the interval progresses, you can start expanding your range of motion, swinging that leg higher and higher. Now transfer your weight again. You're going to extend one leg out in front of you and just make a little semicircle, drawing that leg around and behind you. And with each semicircle, I'm lifting my leg higher and higher until finally I'm going to drive my knee up towards my chest and use my hand to kind of guide it around for a hip circle. Other leg. So extending the foot out in front of you, bringing that leg around and back, making a semicircle, lifting that leg higher and higher each time. And then for these last two, you're gonna drive your knee up towards your chest and use your hand to guide it around. Just doing a hip circle. We're gonna finish with a hamstring stretch. So if you wanna use the wall or a post like I'm doing, or a chair or the arm of your couch to help assist you with this, just going to make it a little bit more comfortable getting into this stretch, and it will allow you to keep your back flat, which is going to help to intensify the stretch in your hamstrings. So that's it, that's our 5-minute warm up. My heart rate is elevated a little bit. My muscles are warm, I'm feeling loose and ready to go, so let's go ahead and get into the workout. All right, so if you watched the video that I shared on Monday, you know that I broke my interval timer, my little Gym Boss interval timer that I always use. So I downloaded an interval timer app onto my phone, and that is what we are using today. We are on 90-second intervals for this first 15 minutes. We're going back and forth between plank and jump rope. There's no rest interval, so you're going to move as quickly as you can between those two exercises until time is up. So we're starting with our elbow plank. As soon as you're ready, here we go. I am starting my timer in 3, 2, 1, and go. So just coming up into your elbow plank. We're holding here for 90 seconds. You can do a high plank if you prefer. Just remember those bullet points I gave you. So head is in line with the spine. You're not allowing your head to droop down like this. You're not overcorrecting by jutting your chin out. Your shoulders are away from the ears. So remember to make sure that you're not sinking down into your shoulders like this, allowing your shoulders to be hunched up towards your ears. You want to press, actively press the ground away from you the entire time. And make sure that your back is flat. So what we're trying to avoid here is an arched back. And that happens when you allow your hips or your belly to droop down towards the mat like this. So instead what you want to do is tighten up your ab muscles and use your ab muscles to lift your hips up high and keep them lifted high. Remember, I would rather have your hips slightly elevated like this, because here your back is still flat. I would rather have this than an arched back. But ideally, you want to find that straight line from your heels to your shoulders. And really that straight line is from your heels all the way to the crown of your head, because your head should be perfectly in line with your spine. All right, that's our first 90-second interval. So now as quickly as you can, you're going to fill this next 90-second interval with some type of moderate paced cardio. So I'm doing jump rope. You can do any type of moderate paced cardio you want. to elbow plank. Remember, you can be doing high plank instead. I actually find holding elbow plank a lot more challenging than holding my high plank. So I might switch to high plank at some point. I might kind of go back and forth between the two. But you can also do bear plank, any kind of plank exercise you want to do. And just do your best. The goal is to not rest, but obviously if you need to come out for a few seconds and rest, you should do that. I'm sure that with the next work interval, or the next work interval where we're doing plank, that I will be coming out of it to rest, at least for a few seconds. All right, so cardio, I'm doing jump rope. You can pantomime jumping rope. You can jog in place. You can do something like high knees or jumping jacks. Any kind of moderate pace cardio exercise you want. So if you have an exercise bike, or a treadmill or an elliptical or something like that, you can hop on one of those while I'm jumping rope. Be up and down the stairs. Needing to rest. I couldn't hold my elbow plank any longer. So before I rest entirely, I decided maybe just come up to a high plank. So I might just do that from here on out. I might start each plank interval with an elbow plank, and then when I'm no longer able to hold my elbow plank, I'll just come up to a high plank and hold that for as long as I can. 2, 1, 0. Okay. So another thing I have to get used to is those little warning beeps. I'm used to, as soon as I hear that beep, that means the interval is up. But this timer gives you those 3 little warning beeps so that you know when the end of the interval is coming. So I have to get used to not reacting as soon as I hear that first beep. I think my first jump rope interval, I ended it a few seconds early because I made that mistake. I heard the beep and I just instinctively stop jumping rope and moved on to my next work interval. I almost did it again. No rest interval. So as quickly as you can, coming back down for plank. Am I alone in this? Am I the only one who thinks that holding a high plank is easier, less strenuous than holding an elbow plank? Really close, just 10 more seconds. See if you can stick it out for these last 10 seconds. I know I want to take a break, but all right, we made it. Next, jump rope interval, or whatever you're doing for cardio. Oh, I did it again. Sorry. It's just instinct. I've been using my little gym boss timer for so many years. My brain and my body are trained as soon as I hear that beep to move on. We're pretty much there, right? If I'm reading this correctly, I think we just have one more interval to go. push, come on. Just 10 seconds. And then all we have left is one more jump rope interval. And that's it, that's part one. And if you're just doing a 15-minute workout today, then that's your workout. You'll be done after this final jump rope interval. So that's it. That's my first 15 minutes. If that's all you're doing today, you're almost done. Remember that no workout of mine is ever complete until we have done our bonus burpee. So if you are not doing part 2 or part 3, then you have just 1 rep left to go. So I will do a bonus burpee in solidarity with you, even though I'm continuing on. If you are continuing on with me, you can rest, or you can do a bonus burpee in solidarity as well. But for those of you who are just doing that first 15 minutes and that's your workout of the day, let's go ahead and do our bonus burpee together, and then your workout will be officially complete. So as soon as you're ready, here we go. Final rep of the day. Continuing on, your workout is now officially complete. Just make sure that you keep moving around for a few minutes while you cool down. Keep moving. You can just kind of pace around. You can do a little light stretching, but just want to keep moving, kind of keep the circulation going while you allow your breathing to slow down, while you allow your heart rate to normalize. If you want to cool down with me, use the chapter markers to skip ahead in the video to the cool down, and we can cool down together. And then just make sure that you're taking a good 15 or 20 minutes to stretch. Okay, if you don't have time to stretch right now, that's fine. You can do it later on in the day, but make sure you're getting your stretching done at some point during the day, please. It's really important. All right, so if you are continuing on with me, next is part 2. So for me, that is going to be 100 reps of sandbag cleans. So you can be doing sandbag cleans with a homemade sandbag if you want, a backpack or a duffel bag filled with some sort of weight, or an actual sandbag if you own one, or if you have access to one at the gym or something like that, or if you own one. You could also be doing barbell cleans if you have access to barbells. Or if not, you can be doing deadlifts, either with or without weight. All right, so I'm going to just get towel off and get a quick sip of water. So if you don't need a rest break, you can just move directly onto part 2. If you need to rest with me, pause the video right here. I'm gonna take like literally 30 seconds to just towel off and get a quick sip of water, and then I'm gonna go ahead and start with part 2. All right, so as soon as you're ready, let's go ahead and start part 2. Luckily, I can still use my timer as a stopwatch, so I'm going to time this section of the workout separately. You don't need to time it, I just wanna know how long it's taking me, and when I have the timer there and I can see the seconds ticking by, I feel like it helps me to really keep pushing myself and to get the reps done as quickly as I can with good form. Remember not to sacrifice your form for speed, but this is for time, so you want to push yourself to complete the reps as quickly as you can. Just make sure you're working to your own level and going at your own pace, all right? So if you are faster than I am, great. You can skip ahead in the video. If you're slower than I am, fine. You can always pause the video if you fall too far behind, and then just when you've caught up, press play. I'm not going anywhere, all right? So as soon as you're ready, here we go. 100 sandbag cleans. I am starting my timer in 3, 2, 1, and go. So hinging at the hips to grab the hold of the sandbag by the handles, and now pressing my heels into the ground and hinging at the hips to stand. And as I stand, I'm flipping the sandbag up and over so that it lands in my elbows like this. And I'm going to flip it over the other way and hinge at the hips to return to my starting position. That's 1, 2, 3. All right, so I'm going to 100. Wish me luck. That's my first 20. I haven't done these in so long. I tried not to use any equipment during my slap challenge, so feels like it's been years since I used my sandbag. These are challenging even when I'm used to using it, but I'm struggling today. All right, that was my first 20. Let me see if I can do another 20 unbroken. Maybe I can. We shall see. All right. When you're ready, here we go. I'm picking up my count at 20. So just flipping the sandbag up and over and then reversing the movement. That's 40 for me. I have to do that 3 more times. I'm not sure how much longer I can continue with unbroken sets of 20 though. I'm gonna see if I can do another 20 without stopping. I may or may not be able to, and then after that, I'll probably just start doing sets of 10 until I get to 100 total sets. But so far I've completed 40, so I'm almost halfway there. So I'm gonna pick up my count at 40 and see if I can do another 20 without stopping. I don't know if I can. Let's see what happens. I'm gonna at least do 10. I'll see how I feel after we get to the halfway point. All right, if you need a longer rest break, pause the video, come back when you're ready. I'm picking up my count at 40. So when you're ready, here we go. When I was writing the workout, I toyed with the idea of doing 50 sets or 50 reps of this exercise instead of 100, and then just repeating it. So doing 100 reps all day, but breaking it up. So doing my part 1 as written, then 50 reps of sandbag cleans, and then just repeat the whole thing once more. But I decided that I wanted this burnout in the middle. I wanted to break it up this way, but if this is getting to be too much for you, you can always, well, you can stop here, that's fine. This has been a great workout so far, and it's enough. But if you want to repeat part 1 with me, you can move on to part 1, and then if you want to do another 40 or 50 or 60 reps or however many reps you have left of your sandbag cleans or your deadlifts, you can do those after you repeat part 1. So just whatever works for you. But that was 60 for me. I didn't quite get them done unbroken, but I just had to take like a quick 5-second rest at the halfway point. So not too bad. But I am going to be picking up my count at 60, and from here I know I can't do unbroken sets of 20, so I'm just going to focus on doing 4 more unbroken sets of 10 if I can. All right, so just remember that before you bend down and pick up your sandbag, step 1 is tucking your shoulder blades into your back pockets. Your shoulders are back and down. Your chest is lifted nice and high. You want to make sure your abs are super strong and tight and engaged the whole time. Remember that you're not rounding your back. You're hinging at the hips, pushing your booty back, keeping your back flat and the weight in your heels as you bend down to grab a hold of your handles on your sandbag, all right? and then pressing your heels into the ground, hinging at the hips to stand. So make sure your back stays flat, make sure the weight stays in your heels. Abs are super strong and tight and engaged the whole time. Sets of 10 from here on out. So let's see if we can pick up the pace a little bit. If you need to rest longer, pause the video, come back when you're ready. I am picking up my count at 60, so let's see if we can do another 10 without stopping. When you're ready, here we go. That's 70 for me. So I just have to do 3 more sets of 10. When you're ready, another 10. That's 80 for me. I want to keep my rest breaks short, but the heat is really starting to get to me. And this sandbag is starting to feel so heavy to me right now. So I'm just needing to take a little more time than I would like to have to take to recover. So just remember, you do want to challenge yourself to keep the rest breaks as short as you can, but make sure they're as long as you need. You should only continue when you feel that you have enough strength and enough stamina to continue with good form. So when you are ready, let's pick up the count at 80. I'll do another 10. If you can, just do your best. When you're ready, here we go. That's 90. I wanted to try to finish this in under 12 minutes. We're almost at 14 minutes. So I didn't make my time goal, but it's okay. I only have 10 reps left. And I keep catching, I didn't wear gloves today, and I keep catching my knuckle on the sandbag, and it's like ripping the skin off. So not fun. Fitness gloves are recommended. I didn't think of it. Should have worn them. But just 10 reps left to go, so let's just tough it out. When you're ready, here we go. Picking up my count at 90. This is our final 10 reps. That's 95. There's 5 more, we got this. 96, 97, 98, 99, last one. All right, that's 100. And that is part 2. Oh, my timer. I'm so exhausted. Well, right now, my timer says 15 minutes and 10 seconds. So I'll have to go back and look at the video to see exactly how long it actually took me and get an accurate score, like down to the second. But looks like it took me just about 15 minutes. Just a little under 15 minutes. So not very close to my goal, but I got it done. That's the important part. If you are continuing on with me, we have one more section left to go, 15 more minutes of interval training. We're just going to repeat exactly what we did for part 1. If you are not continuing on with me, then you have just 1 rep left to go. Let's go ahead and do a bonus burpee together for those of you who are not continuing on, and then your workout will be officially complete. So when you're ready, here we go. This is your final rep of the day. All right, so if you are not continuing on, your workout is now officially complete. So skip ahead to the cool down if you want to cool down with me. If not, just take a few minutes on your own to pace around. Do a little light stretching. Just keep moving. Keep your body moving. Keep the blood circulating while you allow your heart rate to come back down and while you allow your breathing to normalize. And then again, just to make sure that you're taking at least a good 15 or 20 minutes or so to stretch. If you are continuing on with me, I'm going to take another really short water break because it is just so hot out here. I am sweating, I am so fatigued, and my mouth is dry. I'm so thirsty. So again, pause the video, towel off, get a sip of water or sports drink or whatever you're drinking, and when you're ready, meet me back here and we'll start part 3, which is really just part 1. All right, so as soon as you're ready, we are repeating part 1 of the workout. So 1 interval of 90 seconds times 10 rounds. And we're just going to go back and forth between elbow plank and jump rope for 15 minutes, and that's it. So as soon as you are ready, here we go. I am starting my timer in 3, 2, 1, and go. So elbow plank for 90 seconds if you can. Remember to take rest breaks where you need them. Just challenge yourself to keep your rest breaks as short as possible. The goal is to not take any rest breaks at all for the entire 15 minutes. So just do your best. It's hard as you get fatigued. It's hard to keep those abs tight. It's hard to keep those hips up. It's hard to keep pressing the ground away. It's hard to keep your head in line with your spine. Just do your best. We only have 10 seconds left. So really push, dig down deep. See if you can hold it for just another 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1, and we're done. All right, now, There's no designated rest interval. Obviously, I'm losing about 15 seconds or so in between intervals because I have to readjust my mat. That one was especially, that transition was especially rocky. But just do your best to move from one exercise to the next as quickly as you can. You're inevitably going to lose a few seconds off of each work interval. The goal is just to minimize that kind of downtime. Keep that transition time as short as possible. Part of it is that I have to move my mat in between my elbow plank and my jump rope intervals because I'm making a video. And if I didn't move my mat, I remember I tripped on my rope anyway. It's kind of why I stopped jumping rope. But so if I didn't slide my mat back before coming up into my plank position, you wouldn't be able to see me. And it would be an incredibly bad video. Not that this video is gonna win any awards, but at least you can see what I'm doing, which is helpful if you're following along with the workout, right? If I left my mat over there, you wouldn't be able to see me while I was down in my elbow plank. Just be looking at an empty screen. So I have to slide my mat back here. And then when it's time to jump rope, I have to slide it forward again. Because otherwise my jump rope is going to be whacking into this fence behind me. So I'm doing my best to move as quickly as possible. If your setup is different than this, then you can probably make those transitions quite a bit faster than I am. If I wasn't making a video, I would just leave my mat up there. Although, to be honest with you, I'm kind of needing this rest, this 10 or 15 seconds or so that it takes me to slide my mat over. I need that rest time anyway, so it's fine. I'm going to continue starting each plank interval with an elbow plank, but I'm just not able to hold it for very long. So I'm having to come out of it and switch to a high plank. But if I didn't do this, I would need so much longer of a rest break. I would rather just switch to my high plank, which is easier for me. It's still difficult, I'm still working, still fighting for it. Okay, 10 seconds left, come on, just push. But it's more manageable for me than an elbow plank, so it's enabling me to take less actual rest time. All right, we're getting there. Halfway through with this final section of the workout. It's getting so hard. Really fight for it. Stay here as long as you can. I'm gonna come out. Just can see my timer here. So with each interval, I'm trying to really give it everything I can to hold my elbow plank until my timer has 20 or 40 seconds left on it. All right. 10 more seconds. All right, on to jump rope. That was round 4 of 5. So just one more elbow plank to go. Let's complete round 4 of jump rope. This is round 4 of 5. So keep pushing. We're gonna get this done. I know it's hard, but we're so close. Let's really push. This is our 5th and final plank interval. Pay attention to your form. Focus on your breath. And just keep telling yourself you're strong. You got this. My legs are shaking. My arms are shaking. My abs are crying. But I'm fighting. Okay, so just really fight for it. Okay, let's come back up one more time. 15 seconds. This is it, just keep fighting. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and done. All right, final jump rope interval. We made it. We have just over a minute left. That's it. That's our 15 minutes. All right, we are not quite finished yet. By now you know that no workout of mine is ever complete until we have done our bonus burpee. So we have just 1 rep left to go. Even if you did the previous 2 bonus burpees with me, you still have to do 1 more, because if you continued on with the workout, then your workout was not complete. So the bonus burpee is always what completes the workout, and that kind of has to be the very last thing that you do. So even if you already did 2 bonus burpees, you will need to do just 1 more rep with me. We have to do 1 final bonus burpee, and then the workout will be officially complete. But first, whenever I do a workout that includes jump rope, as so many of my workouts do, in addition to my bonus burpee, I also like to do a bonus set of 100 with my jump rope. So when I say a set of 100, I'm just talking about revolutions of the rope. So it doesn't matter what style of jump rope you want to do, we're just counting 100 revolutions of the rope. So this is completely optional, but if you would like to join me for this little bonus, before we get to our bonus burpee, feel free, grab your jump rope. We're just gonna do 1 bonus set of 100 reps with the jump rope. If you don't want to do this, just take a few more seconds to rest, and then we'll do our bonus burpee together. But if you would like to join me for a bonus set of jump rope, here we go. When you're ready, we're just counting 100 revolutions of the rope. So you're going to count like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and that is 100. So that's our little bonus set of jump rope. And now at long last, we have just one rep left to go. So let's go ahead and do our final bonus burpee of the day. And then the workout will be officially complete. So as soon as you are ready, here we go. I promise this is our final rep of the day. With that, the workout is now officially complete. So let's go ahead and do a quick 5-minute cool down together, just kind of shaking out the legs, shaking out the hands, shaking out the arms, swing the arms a little bit. The important part is that you want to keep moving, you want to keep the circulation going while you allow your breathing to normalize and while you allow your heart rate to come down a little bit. So you can just kind of pace around, do a quick shoulder stretch. So just bringing one arm across your body and use the other arm to pull it in towards your chest. Make sure that your shoulders are completely relaxed. If this shoulder is hunched up by your ear and it's all tensed, you're not going to be able to stretch it effectively. So make sure that your straight arm is completely relaxed. This arm is doing all the work of pulling my straight arm in towards my chest, feeling that stretch in my shoulder. And now we'll do that same stretch on the other side. So bringing the opposite arm across your body. Use your other arm to pull it in tight towards your chest. Your straight arm is completely relaxed. Your shoulders are relaxed, down away from the ears, so you can feel that nice stretch in your shoulder. And make sure you're focusing on your breathing, long, slow, controlled, deep breathing, okay? You're trying to get your heart rate down to your normal resting heart rate, and you're trying to slow down your breathing. So make sure you're really focusing on your breathing while we're moving and doing this light stretching that we're doing, okay? So let's do a quick tricep stretch, just bending one elbow. I'm gonna take my hand, place it on my elbow, and I'm just gently pulling my elbow towards the opposite shoulder. So I'm using this hand to pull my elbow towards the opposite shoulder. So I can really feel that stretch in my tricep. And just make sure that your free hand is pointing straight down at the ground. This arm should be completely relaxed. You want to make sure that your free hand is not hanging out up here somewhere. So just think about having your fingers pointing straight down at the ground. Shake it out. Do that same stretch on the other side. So bending the opposite elbow. Grab a hold of your elbow with the other hand and gently pull your elbow towards the opposite shoulder, feeling that stretch in your triceps. Making sure that your free hand is pointing straight down at the ground. Fingers are pointing down at the ground. Your arm is nice and relaxed. I like to just kind of shift my weight side to side while I do this. You can keep pacing. Again, the point is just to keep moving. Shake it out. We'll finish up with a hamstring stretch, so you can hold on to a chair or the wall or something for support if you need to. You're going to bend one knee, bring your foot up behind you, reach back and grab a hold of the top of your foot with both hands. And then you're pressing your heel into your booty cheek. And as you do that, make sure that you are tilting your pelvis forward, kind of tucking your booty underneath you and sucking your belly button back towards your spine. Shake it out. We'll do the other leg. So I'll show you from the side. You'll be able to see what I'm talking about a little better from this side. So bending the opposite knee, bring the foot behind you. Reach back, grab a hold of the top of your foot with both hands, pressing that heel into your booty cheek. And as you do that, you're tilting your pelvis forward. So think about trying to touch your spine with your belly button. You're sucking your belly button back towards the spine, tucking your booty underneath you. And as soon as you combine that with this intent of pressing your heel into your booty cheek, as soon as you combine those two, you'll feel that stretch instantly intensify as you isolate that quad muscle. All right, so that's it. Shake out the legs one more time. Shake out the hands, the wrists, the arms, swing the arms. If you feel that you are still breathing heavily and your heart rate is still elevated, you can continue to just pace around for a few more minutes, do a little light stretching until you feel that you're back to your normal heart, your heart is back to its normal resting rate or close to it, and your breathing has normalized. And then remember to take a good 15-20 minutes at least to do your stretching. I usually like to spend 30 minutes or more on my stretching if I can. So whatever you have time for, but 15 to 20 minutes at least is ideal. And if you can get your stretching done right now, immediately after the workout, this is going to be the most efficient and the most effective time to get your stretching done. If you absolutely do not have time to stretch now, that's fine. You can do your stretching later in the day. Just remember that if you put off your stretching until later in the day, your muscles will have gotten cold again. Even if it's 100 degrees out, you're going to have to take a few minutes to warm them back up before jumping into your stretching routine. The same way we take 5 minutes to warm up our muscles before we begin the workout, you want to treat your stretching routine the same way. It's really important that you're not jumping into your stretching routine with cold muscles. So if you do your stretching later on in the day, great. Just make sure you take some time to warm up before jumping into your stretching routine. If you can stretch now, you don't need to warm your muscles up because they're already nice and warm from the workout. But the bottom line is that it doesn't matter what you do for your stretching routine. It doesn't matter when you get your stretching done. The important thing is just that you don't skip your stretching. You need to make sure that you're stretching every single day. Whether or not you do a workout, it's really important to make sure you're stretching every single day. But if you're experiencing any muscle soreness after the workouts, taking a good 15 or 20 minutes to stretch every day is going to go a long way towards helping to alleviate any muscle soreness that you might be experiencing. And it is also going to help reduce your risk of injury moving forward. So if you're planning on following my workouts on a regular basis, it's really important that you're stretching every day, because the more that you can generally train your muscles to be more pliable and more flexible, you're going to increase your range of motion, and it's just going to lessen the likelihood that you will strain something or pull a muscle in a future workout or just in your daily life. And also, taking the time to stretch every day is going to improve your flexibility and your mobility, and those are two very, in my opinion, very undervalued and often overlooked aspects of your overall fitness level. And they become increasingly important as we get older, and I don't know about you, but I'm getting older. Everyone I know is getting older, so it's never too soon, you're never too young to start prioritizing your flexibility and your mobility, and I think that I know that your future self will thank you for it. So make sure that you're taking the time to stretch every day. But that's it. Our workout of the day is officially complete. This one was a lot more challenging for me than I anticipated. I thought it was really, really tough, but I thought it was a great workout. I hope you enjoyed it as well. If you did this workout with me today, thank you so much. Please let me know what you thought of it and how you did. Thank you to everyone who has been working out with me lately, and even if you are not doing the workouts with me, thank you for watching the videos. Thank you for liking and sharing the videos. Thank you so much for all of your wonderful and supportive and engaging comments. It truly does mean the world to me. Thank you to all of my new subscribers. If you are not subscribed already, please subscribe. And of course, a great big thank you to those of you who have been subscribed to my channel for years. Please know that I appreciate you all so very much. One final reminder that if anything is unclear with the format of today's workout, how everything fits together, how you can customize it and mix and match the sections. If you have questions about any of the specific exercises that we were doing today, if you have any doubts whatsoever about how to do these exercises with the correct form, or if you need any further help with equipment-free substitutions or beginner modifications beyond what I have already provided, I am right here to help, so please just ask. That is going to do it for today. But before I say goodbye, I have to say one final thank you to those of you who have been watching the videos all the way until the end and commenting with the secret code phrase of the day. So before I say goodbye, I will give you today's secret code phrase of the day. It is, owning a camera doesn't make you a paragraph. So if you are still watching this video, hello, thank you for watching all the way to the end. Please let me know that someone is still watching by going down to the comment section and leaving me a comment that says, owning a camera doesn't make you a paragraph. That is going to do it for today, and I will see you all next time. Bye.